I love it. Well, that's how we keep busy around here is we spend a lot of time outside and a lot of time playing cards.
Mhm. Are all your kids still at home? I know that one was 18.
I do. He just turned 19 in January, so I've got him. He graduated high school. He's going to start TCC in July. Ashley, who is 16, is a junior in high school in Owasso, and then I have a 7-year-old who is the baby, and he's a first grader. So
Oh,
we started over.
yeah, yeah. You're gonna do the whole whole
The
thing again.
whole thing all over again. So it's kind of like I have two sets of kids. I have the older ones and then the baby.
Oh, that's awesome. Do they dote on him?
Um, no, they do just the opposite. They're like, you're the baby, you're not getting special treatment. And it's really interesting. They want the attention too. So they don't dote on him at all. They have fun with him, but they don't dote on him.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. Okay, well, I see Barbara's chair, but no Barbara. That's kind of like a, um, I don't know, grand or something. That like well lit chair with no one sitting in it and the dark backdrop. I love it.
I think she's up at the lake. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's up at the lake where that is.
Cool, cool.
Mike, are you eating a Pop-Tart?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. Good for you. I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Pop-Tart, and I have 7-year-old.
You must feed them good.
We do pancakes and deer bacon around here. So he's pretty spoiled for sure.
Talk to me about deer bacon.
So my dad is an avid hunter and he brings home a couple deer a year. And all I ask for Christmas is for deer bacon and other meats that he can provide. So that's my Christmas present every year is he provides deer bacon. And my son, my youngest son, just loves it. And my grandfather or my dad calls it proper food. So when we eat over at his house, we eat proper food and we eat deer bacon and eggs and pancakes and all of those nice Southern comforts. And so that's what I get for Christmas is deer bacon. So my son loves it and I'll make it for him for breakfast. It's perfect because he'll eat it. He's quite the grazer. So he needs his comfort food, his proper food.
Hey, Mike,
Yes, Don.
have you been fishing lately?
No, I'm not, but I've been dreaming about it.
When do those big bass start running?
It's typically spring when the water gets up to about 60 plus degrees.
That's for those stripers?
Yeah.
Okay. We need to go someday.
Well, I like fishing.
I put a new prop on my boat after duck season. I tore the prop off of it, so I'm ready to go fishing now.
When are you heading to Alaska?
May 24th.
Wow.
And I am stunned. Diesel is now $7 a gallon in Canada.
Wow. So how many miles do you get a gallon?
4.
Not nearly enough.
That is some expensive salmon.
You tell Joy that, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You don't care what it costs.
Well, I don't either. It's pretty good. That and halibut are my two favorites. Morning, Linda. Morning, Jim.
Morning.
Morning,
Good
Steve.
morning.
Morning,
Morning.
Bill. Morning, Mike. Morning. Morning,
So Barbara,
Sherry
you would,
Lightner.
morning. So Barbara, you would say you eat fish just for the halibut?
Yeah, just for the halibut.
Oh.
Very good, Steve. That's why you're the editor of the fundraiser.
I've been threatened to be sent to the penitentiary on many occasions.
Oh, It's awfully early for that. I was afraid I couldn't get on. We've had a big storm up here last night and I couldn't get on from my app on my computer, but I was able to go to the website and get on. So I don't know what's going on.
In that case, it's always operator error.
Well, it probably is in this case too. Who knows?
Well, we had a
Behind the
storm here. I
keyboard.
slept right through it.
Well, it
You know,
was
Barbara,
thunder-
you're pretty dependable. We could depend on you.
It was thundering this morning when I got up.
Hi, Bill.
Producer?
Welcome, Jennifer. We're looking forward to you speaking this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me today.
I didn't know there was such a thing as deer bacon until I signed on and heard you talking about proper food.
Yeah, we've got to do proper food, and it's a thing, and it's wonderful. It's very salty, but very good.
What part of the deer is fatty enough to provide bacon?
It's not like the bacon, like the pork bacon that you get. It's more like a sausage patty. So if you think take a sausage patty and flatten it out into like a rectangle, that's kind of what it looks like. So it's more sausage. But I have no idea what part of the deer that they take that from and make it. But it is divine.
In a different pen.
Hi, Ellie.
Morning, happy St. Patty's Day.
Oh, no.
Sounds like you didn't wear green.
Andy,
I have green.
what is that green thing behind you, Andy?
Well, it's actually an authentic green screen background.
Ah, okay.
Yes. I was gonna wrap it around, but it's not cold outside, so I don't want to sweat too much.
Well, Ellie, my trousers and socks are green, but that's as good as I can do. I'm on official assistant governor duty today.
You can be proud of green socks.
Hey,
Did
Jesse.
Let me do it again. You see it? Can you read?
Like shenanigans. I like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, where's Blarney?
Right here.
Oh, I
Hey,
see an
Jesse, I've
ear.
been wanting to ask you a
Morning.
question.
Oh, yeah, he's got it.
Yes, sir.
By the way,
There you are, Jesse.
the best Irish movie of all time is on tonight at 7 o'clock on Turner Classic Movies. The Quiet Man with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hare. Don't miss it.
Okay.
My favorite.
Hey, Rich, I like your little hat.
Hey, just a top of the morning to you, darling.
You're a leprechaun.
My inner Murphy O'Sullivan comes out on days like this.
I love it.
Hey, Jesse, I've been wanting to ask you a question.
Yeah, what's up, Don?
It's about KIP and the historical significance of how it started. And when we first did the computer program with KIP, there was the darndest spread of people I've ever seen in my life, from the poorest to the people that were driving the Mercedes. One guy came to get a computer with a wagon. Is that diversity still within the student body?
It absolutely is. We get our parents really send our kids because of the mentorship and because we've had a track record of getting students academically up to the bar so that they can get a solid college prep education. But we are still like 90% free and reduced lunch rate, which is sort of a federal poverty indicator. So it's a range, but because equity hasn't quite reached North Tulsa in the way that it should yet. It's a very large, impoverished student population, but there are folks with means who send their children to KIPP as well. So yeah, I would call it a spread.
So it's really,
Go ahead.
it really hasn't changed from the way it started. Would you say that?
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't tell if someone else chimed in there.
Well, I was just saying it's remained pretty much the same. How big is your student body now?
We have close to 600 students. I know
Oh
it's
man,
awesome.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it
We'll have,
is.
we'll have our first graduating class. We opened a high school a few years ago, and we've added a grade a year. So we'll have 12th graders next year, and then they'll be graduating, which is just wonderful.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, we're growing. We have our executive director was actually a founding teacher at KIPP. He went on, worked in a couple places through kind of the central Midwest, directing larger and larger organizations. So, but then he came back when we had an executive director opening here in Tulsa. So that keeps us tapped into our roots as well, Don. And I can talk to you more about it if you have more specific questions, but I know we just struck 7 a.m. Someone needs to ring a bell or
Yeah,
something.
well, my bell's at home, so I can't ring the bell. So I'll just go ding dong. We'll start the meeting. And then if you have questions for Jesse on KIPP, put them in the chat room because I know that we'll have questions for Jennifer as well as for Jesse, because this is the first time we've had anybody on from KIPP in a long time. So don't stop just because he's not the speaker today. So we're going to go ahead and start the meeting. And Jesse, you have not posted a picture of yourself yet on DACDB. So there's little leprechauns on there today for St. Patrick's Day. So it is up to you now to go ahead and start the meeting with the prayer and the pledge.
Excellent. And most of you haven't met me face to face, so you don't know, but I am pretty short. So I've been called a hobbit, I've been called a leprechaun, and maybe that photo is appropriate. At any rate, please bring me back up to speed. Do I start with the prayer or the pledge?
You can start with the prayer.
All righty. So the prayer I'm offering today is from Dr. Martin Luther King. And yeah, so, oh God, we thank you for the fact that you've inspired men and women in all nations and in all cultures. We call you different names. Some call you Allah, some call you Elohim, some call you Jehovah, some call you Brahma, some call you the unmoved mover. But we know that these are names for one and the same God. Grant that we will follow you and become so committed to your way and your kingdom that we will be able to establish in our lives and in this world a brother and a sisterhood, that we will be able to establish here a kingdom of understanding, where men and women will live together as brothers and sisters and respect the dignity and worth of every human being. In the name and spirit of Jesus, amen. And on to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jesse. Okay, Megan, are you on? Let me look and see. Megan may be in Florida for spring break.
Yeah, she asked me to cover for her this morning.
Okay,
Barbara.
great. Go ahead, Steve.
So Steve is the substitute sergeant at arms today. First of all, let's happy St. Patrick's Day. Good morning, everybody. First of all, and look around and see if there are any visitors or guests other than our guest speaker. I'm not seeing anyone. We had such good attendance last week, and this week it's a little slim.
It's spring break.
There's Sherry Perry. Good morning, Sherry. Good to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Good to see you all.
Good morning.
So we have at least one visiting Rotarian. Any others? I don't see any others. So we don't, do we, Laura, are you at home or are you on the road somewhere?
Laura, you're on mute.
Sorry, I was trying to find the button. I'm on my phone. I'm in Tulsa, but I'm headed to Oklahoma City in about 20 minutes.
All right, well, you'll miss the best part of the meeting because that's when Jennifer is going to start presenting. All right, since there are no, since we only have the one guest, let's talk about birthdays and anniversaries. Who has a birthday or anniversary that they want to bring to our attention? Or that you just want to confess to? Well,
Those are all the people that aren't on.
yeah, that's I'm hearing nothing but crickets. So we'll move on. We always get a big hit out of Rotary or out of Happy Bucks. Who has Happy Bucks this morning? Now, it could be that a lot of people lost their electricity when the storms rolled through. So we only
Andy
have
has one.
do what?
Andy
Got
has
one.
Oh, Andy, go ahead.
I was really surprised. I got a happy anniversary card from the Professional Photographers of America. And I have a 35-year member pin from the Professional Photographers of America. How about that, folks?
That's pretty awesome. All right.
What happens
Scott,
when you pay your dues? What'd you
Scott,
say?
did I see your hand? Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I've been kind of alluding to it the last couple of weeks, but we finally got my son married off last Friday night, and everything went real well. They're still married, and so that's really a good thing for us. So she's a sweet little lady, and they have their own house, and we are starting to dump all of his stuff out of our house back into his home. So we're just tickled to death.
Those are proud days. Who else?
I'll do a Happy Buck.
Go ahead, Barbara.
My sister is down here from Boulder visiting for a few days. It's spring break, so she went down to visit her granddaughter, McAllister, and came up to the lake to spend a few days with me. She got out of Boulder right before the big storm. I think this is about the third or fourth largest storm that they've ever had up there. It's just dumping snow everywhere. But she was able to get out in time and get down and visit. And so she's up here for a few days and we're having a nice visit. So that's my Happy Buck.
Excellent. Any other Happy Bucks?
Hey, Barbara.
Yes.
You said you're at the lake?
Yes.
Do you mind if I call you after the meeting?
No, that's fine.
All right. I had a door blow open at the lake house, and I was wondering if you could help me out.
You want me to come fix it?
Well, it's the garage door. So I'll tell you more after the meeting. I'll call you.
Okay, call me.
You just saved me a trip to the lake. See, now I'm happy again. You have another Happy Buck.
More Happy Bucks. Okay, Stan.
Oops, if I can get off mute. There we go. So I'm in South Padre Island with my grandkids. That's
Fabulous.
fun.
Who else? Well, we did have our attendance up to 27. That's not like it was last week, but 27.
Perry has her hand up.
Perry has something.
Oh, go ahead, Sherry.
I'm just happy to be here, and I'm so happy that Mike Bibby invited me to come and showed me the link. I'm glad to see all of you again.
Very good. We're glad to have you.
You're always welcome to join us, whether you're in South Dakota or whether you're in Oklahoma.
I see that, but you know, when I'm in South Dakota, this meeting starts at 6 a.m. So I'm not sure. I might or might not get up that early, but I'm looking forward to breakfast with you in person in the fall when I come back.
Good.
It is 6 a.m.
Okay, any others? All right, not seeing any others. We'll continue celebrating St. Patrick's Day with another funny provided by Barney Tonquist. An Irishman had been drinking at a pub all night. The bartender finally said that the bar was closing, so the Irishman stood up to leave and fell flat on his face. He tried to stand up one more time, same result. He figured, well, I'll crawl outside and get some fresh air and maybe that will sober me up. So he crawled outside, he stood up and fell on his face. So he decided to crawl the 4 blocks back to his home. When he arrived at the door, he stood up and again fell on his face. He crawled through the door and into his bedroom. When he reached his bed, he tried one more time to stand up. This time he managed to pull himself upright, but he quickly fell right into bed and sound asleep as soon as his head hit the pillow. He awakened the next morning to his wife standing over him shouting, "So you've been out drinking again?" "Yeah, what makes you think that?" he asked, putting on an innocent look. "The pub called. You left your wheelchair there again." Thank you, Barney. Thank you, Barbara.
That's good. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Steve. Okay, let's go see what we've got going next. Okay. Last week, Linda Ortega found the error in the fundraiser. So we've had a couple of entries in the chat room already today, but they are not the correct error. You've got to do the correct error, the one that Steve intended to be the error, not any typo or any other thing. So go through, look at your fundraiser. If you think you know the answer, post in the chat room. Excuse me, and I'll mail you a $5 Starbucks gift card. Okay, this Saturday, Bill Bowen will not be able to be there because he's going to be in training for the president-elect for Rotary for next Rotary year. But we do need people at the Jinx Food Bank. They'll be driving through, so there won't be contact. They'll just drive through and you'll help package up the food and put it in their trunk. So if you have some time to go do that, Jinx would really appreciate it. That's from 10 to noon on Saturday.
I plan to be there, Barbara.
Good, thank you, Jim. If anybody else is going to be there, why don't you just post that in the chat room so we'll know that we'll have more than just Jim there. Help Jim out. Thank you. Okay, I was looking through the district newsletter and Megan's not here today, but I'm going to send this to her, Megan Korn. A lot of the clubs are getting publicity for what they're doing because during the lockdown or during the pandemic, a lot of clubs aren't even meeting. But this is really, I'm very proud that so many clubs are meeting. They're doing things in the community and we've done a lot of things too. And so we need to get all the things we've been doing published in the district newsletter. So I'm going to work with Megan so everybody will know all the super things that Sunrise is doing right now, even though we are not yet meeting in person, but that will happen soon. Okay, it's time to go to Ellie and have someone draw a number and then draw a name and then pick a number. I'll get it right.
All right. And it's, again, Bill Lawson.
Hey, hey. Okay, Bill, there are the available numbers.
I just feel it must be 7.
7 coming up. Here's number 7. And you, Bill Lawson, are a loser.
Okay. Well,
So sorry.
I've almost made bingo.
Well, you buy a lot of tickets, so.
Better luck next time.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if any of you have tried to go out and look at the meetings that I posted, because every time we have a Sunrise meeting, I record it and then I transfer it to DACDB and I title it. So if you want to go back and either do a makeup or just see what somebody had to say who was a member, who was a speaker for that meeting. Well, they did something with DACDB. There used to be club files and then there's club files new. And all of the meetings are now in club files new, but when you clicked on them, it didn't go anywhere. So I talked with Rochelle because she's still working for DACDB and she put a request into the developers and I'm not high enough on the list. So I got totally ignored. So I figured out how to fix it. So I went in yesterday and all of the Sunrise meetings, I've gone in, fixed them so that you can access them. So if you don't know how to do that, you go into DACDB and then you go into My Club, which is up there on the left, it's the tab up there. And then you click on Club Files. And then when Club Files come up, you'll see all these Sunrise meetings. And all you have to do is click on one of those links and it will take you to, the link actually goes to my YouTube where all these were stored. and you want to fast forward through all the chit chat that we do before the actual speaker, or you could listen to it if you wanted to, it doesn't make any difference. But if you want to actually hear the speaker, just fast forward, listen to the speaker. So they're all out there now. I think they're all working. If they're not, let me know and I'll make sure that I figure out how to fix it. So they're there if you would like to review any of them.
Can I throw a word in there, Barbara?
Yes.
What happened to me was this icon, the Club Files new icon, was somehow secretly moved off of my screen. I found it by clicking on the little gearbox in the upper right-hand corner, the settings screen.
Oh, okay.
And I found it in some hidden icons, and I was able to grab it and move it back up into my visible icons. And that's why I couldn't find it last week when I called you.
Well, darn, we didn't want you to find it. That's why it was up there in the invisible. Thank you, because I did not know that. So if you need any help, contact me or contact Steve. We'll get you there. Okay, this is good news. We are getting better and better. In fact, this is the first time, if you look at the chart on the left, this is the first time that the number is starting to go down as far as the deaths in Tulsa County per 100,000. And if you look over on the cases since June 30th, we are going down. I'm tentatively, we're working on this. I'm tentatively looking for mid-April to start meeting in person. And we will meet both in person and hybrid. If the speaker wants to be hybrid, they'll be on Zoom with us. If the speaker wants to be in person, they'll be in person. Same way with the ROD and the same way with all of our club members. So unless something happens and we start spiking up, then that's my goal, is to look at, it would be April the 14th, I believe, is the day that we would start in person. So I'll keep you advice on that and give you a heads up as we get forward. But I'm real hopeful. I met with we have an area presidents, Rotary presidents breakfast the third Tuesday of every month. And I met with, we actually did it in person yesterday. And some of the other clubs are also really looking to open back up again. So I'm real hopeful that we're going to be able to do that and actually meet in person. I think we have 4 new members this year that we've inducted at our board meetings because we haven't had a regular meeting to do it. So that will really be a celebration when we can get everybody together again. Okay, what else do I have here? Come on. Okay, Jesse, you are our Rotarian of the day. And I wish you would just take a few minutes. I'm going to stop sharing here. Take a few minutes because you were inducted at a board meeting and those of us who were there got to hear more about you and your background, but the rest of the club really doesn't know you yet. And we want them to know you. So spend a little bit more time and tell us about yourself before you go on and introduce our speaker for today, if you would.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. It is nice to see everyone, and I'm a very proud member of the club for, I guess in April it'll be 6 months, so I'm coming up on half a year. And let's see, I moved to Tulsa October of 2019. Yeah, so year and a half in Tulsa. I had come from Albany, New York, where I've been working on a PhD, and I'm close to finishing that up. I just have to finish writing my introduction to the dissertation, which I'm on spring break this week, and that's one of my projects. So, it's been a long journey in education for me. Along the way, I met my partner, Jessica, and she grew up in Tulsa. So that's the Tulsa connection. We'd been together for a number of years, and as we were kind of wrapping up on our degrees, we needed to start looking for a place to settle. And I've been doing fundraising work, started out doing that just to kind of like cobble together programming for my fellow grad students and the students that I taught. Learned that that was a viable career path, more viable than being a college professor. So, and I found a real talent for it and a passion for it, especially when it came to creating some more equitable education opportunities in the younger grades. Because being in front of a college classroom, you realize that, the struggle with fair opportunities and fair preparation starts way before anyone reaches college. So I went that route. Jessica and I were looking all across the country for places to land. And the more we had conversations, the more Tulsa looked good. I'd always loved visiting when we came out to see her family. And so it always felt like a good fit to me. And then stars started aligning for her with jobs and different things like that. So we took the leap. I worked at the Chalkboard restaurant for a couple of months while I was doing job interviews, and finally landed the development director position at KIP. And that was nice. So yeah, I'm no stranger to all different manner of work, but my passion is obviously for education, and my gifts align in the areas of narrative and fundraising plays into that. So that's how I got to be where I am. Love the outdoors. Used to much colder climates than Tulsa. Not complaining there. I've done 40 years of winters, so I'm all right if the winters get a little milder for me, and I'm hoping the rest of life goes that way too. So that's a bit about myself. Now I'm really excited to talk about our speaker, Jennifer Thornton. I am going to read from her bio, but I wanted to mention a couple things just in getting acquainted with Jennifer over the past week or so. And it really seems that her devotion to hospitality and that field is really through and through. And perhaps the best example, which isn't touched upon too much in her bio, is the fact that she lived in Divide, Colorado, and ran with her husband like a ranch retreat, which would host up to 80 people for a lot of different functions. And she was sort of doing that. Found out recently that that's when they gave up cable. That's why you see all the DVDs behind her on the shelves. But yeah, hospitality, welcoming people to that ranch to have professional development opportunities or just retreats, while raising her youngest son, who was kind of like a reboot for her because she's got two kids that one just graduated, and the other is soon to be an adult, and then she's got a 7-year-old named Ty. So she was raising her youngest. They were living on that ranch and they were hosting folks, and so hospitality is a through and through aspect of who she is professionally, and I think as a person. She's had some unique opportunities and challenges during the years, from taking over Disney as an event planner, who put together continuing education events for professional police organizations, to probably most recently managing a pivot to virtual for some of Cox Business Center clients who needed to run events during the pandemic. So it's been a dynamic career. And to quote from her bio, Jennifer Thornton is an entrepreneur, wife, mother, and friend to many. From running her own self-formed marketing firm, the Thornton Group LLC, to working in the nonprofit association world for 16 years, she is no stranger to the hospitality industry. She holds a bachelor's degree in business administration, and she excels in areas of motivation, project management, sales, and customer service. During the 20 years of her working career, she has been a customer service specialist, sales and marketing manager, event planner, and owner of her own company. These opportunities have given her a unique perspective on a vast array of situations and circumstances that many people find themselves in every day in business. These experiences have helped her to develop the skills to motivate and educate teams to meet goals for the betterment of all involved. Jennifer started her career in wholesale customer service at WorldCom immediately after attending Oklahoma State and Langston universities. Moving forward in her telecommunications career at Wiltel Communications in large accounts, she found herself drawn to expand her experience as the marketing manager at the Airborne Law Enforcement Association. She was responsible for all aspects of corporate communications, such as trade shows, advertising, exhibit, and sponsorship sales, and establishing marketing plans to further the success and profitability of ALIA. After 3 years of service with ALIA, she was presented with the opportunity to start her own marketing firm, and has offered her services to not only Aaliyah, but other clients such as the International Homicide Investigators Association, American Orthodontic Society, National Association of School Resource Officers, Florida Association of School Resource Officers, the International Association of Coroners and Medical Examiners, and the National Association of Casino Party Operators. Providing her time and expertise to these associations has furthered her experience and paved the way to fulfilling her and her clients' goals. Jennifer was born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and welcomed the opportunity to be reunited with her roots by accepting the position as the Director of Sales for the Cox Business Convention Center, ASM Tulsa, in April 2019. After living in Colorado for 10 years with her husband, Chris, and 3 children, Jacob, who's now 19, Ashley, 16, and Ty, who I believe just turned 7, she is fortunate to spend time with friends and family by furthering her business career in Tulsa. So let's give a warm welcome to Jennifer.
Hello, friends. Yay. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much. It is lovely to be back in Tulsa. Barbara was talking about the dump of the snow that was getting ready to hit Boulder. So we lived in Colorado Springs proper and moved up into the mountains about 45 minutes west of Colorado Springs. And when that snow comes, let me tell you people, the snow comes and it doesn't go for days. So to come home and only have February where there was a little bit of ice and it was cold for about a week, it was very welcoming compared to 9 months of winter where we lived. So it was very, very cold. So Tulsa is home. I'm glad to be here. I've got a lot of roots here. My grandfather actually was a corporal for Tulsa Police Department for over 40 years. And he happened to be the head of security at the convention center for many, many years. So I'm actually a legacy in the building. I love that I remember running around with my grandfather and going to the circus and going to concerts, and he was always there. So to be back in the building and run up and down the same stairs that I did when I was a little girl just felt like home. So I'm real excited to be back in a building that's very familiar to me. When I did get there, I started in April 2 years ago, and we were in the middle of a $55 million renovation. And so when I got there on my first day of interview, I walked into this huge hole. They had ripped out everything in the arena, and it was walls, solid concrete walls, and that's all it was. So I was able to watch from the very beginning. A year and a half later, now we have this beautiful 41,000 square foot ballroom, which happens to be the largest ballroom in Oklahoma. We were able to acquire all of the storage space, which was the lower part of the arena. So we have a ballroom and then a lower part, and we were able to renovate our kitchen at the same time. So now we have the largest ballroom in Oklahoma, and we have the second largest kitchen in Oklahoma. So we're really proud of those things. The new space, we call it the Grand Hall. So it's replaced the arena. So BOK can have all the concerts now, and we'll go ahead and stick with what we know, which is the convention side. And we can do a lot in that space. It's called the Grand Hall. I can put about 5,500 people at dinner in that space, and our kitchen is ready for it. So a lot of people in the space that we can move through there. And it's exciting because I can do an array of different events in the convention center. So we do corporate meetings, we do weddings, we do sports events, we do galas, and we do anything from 5 people all the way up to 5,500 people. So the sky's the limit when it comes to what we can do at the convention center. One of the things that's really interesting about our convention center is that I don't know if you know this, but we don't actually make a profit at the convention center. It makes me giggle a little bit because my mathematical brain and my sales brain doesn't work in negatives. So, so it was really hard for me to come in and look at the financials and go, wait a minute, we work in the red, we're not in the black. And the reason for that is because the convention center is primarily there to bring tourism into Tulsa. And you know, that's what we really strive for, is bringing those people and those tourists in, and to have those conventions and have those galas, people staying in downtown Tulsa and around Tulsa, eating at the restaurants. You know, we bring in a little over $60 million in economic impact a year. So we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. And, you know, now that I'm there at the convention center, we're really going to strive to actually have the convention center make a profit. In convention world, probably 80% of convention centers across the country don't make money. And so again, my poor little sales brain is like, wait, I don't understand. That's not how we run a business, but we're really getting there. And, you know, things are starting to pick up. As a matter of fact, we, starting in January of this year, we had, our sports market was very strong. So just about every weekend we had a youth sports event of some kind, be it a cheerleading competition, gymnastics, wrestling. We actually have volleyball coming in. So the sports market was really strong at the beginning of the year. That's usually when our gala market is as well, when all the nonprofits are trying to raise their money, you know, for the year. And so that those events have been pushed out a little bit to fall. It looks like people are really starting to get more comfortable in September, October, November to have their events. And so this week has been a very, very busy week. It's interesting. It's spring break and everyone took off. And of course, it's the busiest week that we have because everybody is starting to feel a lot more comfortable and wanting to book their events and get their contracts in. And so it's been a very, very busy week for us. You know, I just saw a question, are there times when the BOK and the convention center work together? We do. We absolutely do. So there are a couple of conventions that we are trying to get to come into Tulsa. They have been in Oklahoma City primarily and historically, and we are trying to introduce them to Tulsa. So we are working with the BOK to do general sessions over at the BOK, maybe do some concerts over there in conjunction with their conventions, and then we will do the educational piece at the convention center. So it's very convenient that they are right across the street from each other, and people are liking that. So another question, do you require masks of all attendees? We do at the moment. So while the city of Tulsa is still under mandate, we do require masks. We do social distancing. So we do have all of those protocols in place. It's called our Venue Shield program. It is a 27-page document. If you want it, let me know. I know you want to read it. But we have gone through everything from catering to people being in the building, to water fountains, everything that we could possibly think of to make it a safe environment for our patrons that come in. Now we are running at 25% capacity right now. So where I would love to have a banquet for 5,500 people, I can probably do 25% of that until the mandate is lifted. So it's an exciting time at the convention center. We're really excited to start ramping up and start having conventions and all that again. Now, one of the things that makes us a little different too is we have all of our services are in-house. So our Savor is our catering company that is under the ASM umbrella. So the building itself is owned by the city, and ASM has been hired to come in, who I work for, to come in and run the building. So Savor is our catering company under that umbrella, and they are divine. So Chef Devin Levine is our head chef, and I don't know if anybody has heard of him. He has cooked for 4 US presidents and has cooked for the PGA. He's very well known in the community, and if anybody, one of our specialties is offsite catering. So if anybody wants a private dinner, He is exceptional. And, you know, we do dinners at the convention center as well. You know, we can have 20 people or we can have up to 400 people. We could. So that's one of our specialties is our catering staff. They are just impeccable at what they do. And the food is just amazing. We are actually having our monthly wine and wine dinners every month. So keep a lookout for that. I can post that link because you might want to come see how we do socially distance and have an event safely and enjoy some really good food and maybe a cocktail or two. We also have our IT and so internet and floral and all audio visual. It's all in-house at the convention center. So once you walk in the door, we can provide all the services. Tim, I love that. So we can, as soon as the customer comes in the door, we are going to take care of them from the first time they call us all the way until they're finished with their event, and even further, because once they become clients of ours, they become friends of ours. And that's how we really run our building, is it's our home. And so I'd really like to show it to you. So if you don't mind, I do have a little video. It's kind of a tour of the convention center. It's probably been a long time since some people have been in it, and if you know the arena's gone. So I'd really love to show you the space. So if you don't mind, I'd love to put that up.
Go ahead. I've got it. You can share it. Go ahead.
Okay, let's see if I can, where did it go? There it is. Yay. All right. Enjoy the tour of the new building. Can everyone see it?
Yes.
Oh, this is my Tulsa video. Oh my gosh, I got the wrong one. Hang on. Oh my goodness, I have the wrong video up. Oh, I apologize. Stand by. Heavens to Betsy.
Well, it looked interesting anyway.
Well, it's a beautiful video, and it has, I was looking at it and went, it has 6 minutes. That's not right. That's not a 6-minute video. Oh, I apologize, friends. Stand by for me. If you'd like to post any questions while I look for this video for you. Unless, Jesse, I know I sent it to you. Do you have it up?
I'm working on pulling it up right now. So let's see.
You are amazing. Oh my gosh. And I hope I sent you the right one.
We'll see.
I feel so bad, folks. Oh my God.
Don't worry about it.
Jennifer, while he's working on that, someone wanted to know how you have been running the wine and beer tasting events, and how do you get the idea for them together?
Well, we, again, back to my catering staff, they are just incredible. And we have been socially distancing. I can't get my email up. This is horrible. I'm so sorry. We have been socially distancing everything, and we have a way of putting together the themes each month. And what we do is we pair it with an alcohol of some kind. So we do a wine dinner, we do a beer dinner, we do what have we done? We've done whiskey. We did a whiskey dinner. So that was really fun. You know what I'm going to do, folks? I apologize, and I don't want to keep you waiting.
I do have the video.
I'm going to post it in the link, and I would love for you to watch that.
If Jesse's got it up, Jesse, you can share it.
All right.
Jennifer's going to have to stop sharing.
Guys.
Oh, okay. Let me stop Jennifer first. Stop, Jennifer. Okay, now you ought to be able to bring it up, Jesse.
Okie doke. Give me 1 second. And this is on me. I should have practiced and made sure the link was good to go.
I should have had the right one up.
Okay, we got time. Okay, there you go.
All right. So, are you guys seeing a YouTube screen?
Yes.
Tulsa's premier venue for events of all kinds. This award-winning venue is a clean, modern facility with over 275,000 square feet of flexible meeting space. Whether you're hosting 300 or 3,000 people, a corporate party, or a trade show, Cox Business Convention Center has the perfect room for you.
We have entertained anything from a black tie dinner to a sports event to an annual conference. We can do lunches. We have had volleyball tournaments. We've had wrestling tournaments. So we are really interested in helping all of those that really need that extra space, especially in the time that we're in.
With its diverse range of rooms and spaces, Cox Business Convention Center can conveniently hold multiple separate events on the same day.
So the way that the building is set up is it's basically in 3 different zones. And so we can have multiple events, up to 4 major large events at any time, and they really have their own space in the building.
Cox Business Convention Center is within walking distance of over 2,000 hotel rooms and surrounded by vibrant music, art, and culinary scenes to keep your guests entertained during their visit. And if you need to feed your guests at a gala or large dinner event, Cox Business Convention Center has you covered.
We offer in-house catering by Sabre, and the staff is impeccable. So we really make sure that the service element is a huge priority with us. We want to make sure that the client is going to have the best experience that they possibly can have, and they will have here at the CBCC.
And to make this event planning process even easier for you, Cox Business Convention Center offers a variety of in-house services, including security, box office, dock marshals, floral, decor, and technical services. You can rest easy knowing your event is in good hands.
We really strive to make sure that we know what that customer wants. We ask those questions, we set those expectations, really get in there, talk to them about what they want, and then we execute exactly to their parameters. I always like to say that this is my home. And so we are inviting people into our home, and we need to make them comfortable. So as long as we're doing that the way we're supposed to, every client should walk out of here happy.
To book your next event, contact the Tulsa Convention and Visitors Bureau or the Tulsa Sports Commission.
Yay! We are so proud of our space. We're so excited. And so we are open. We are open. We actually, during pandemic, we were only technically closed for a couple of months. We've been open since August of last year. And people have been having events. We even had the ballet come in and do performances of the Lost Nutcracker in December. So we have been going strong, keeping those doors open. We are working at a reduced staff right now. But we're trying to get back to 100%. But as we see concerts coming back across the street, as we see conventions and more business coming back, we can increase that and get back to 100%. And we're really seeing that upswing right now, which is really healthy for the community, because I mean, as much business is starting to come in and the phone calls that I'm getting, people are ready to move forward and get together again. So it's a really exciting time for us, truly. Folks, I invite you to come see me at any time. I would love to show you the new space. We could do a tour. We could do an outing and have a tour. So I would love to do that at whatever time, if you guys are open to it and want to see the new space. And maybe I invite you to have your meeting at our facility one time, just for fun, if you would like to do that, because it's a really big space and we'd love to have you. So I invite you to come see me. Spread the word. I mean, let people know that we are not just big conventions. We are anything and everything that you need space for. We are there for dinners. We're there for weddings. We're there for graduations, Jesse.
Hey,
we
Jennifer,
can very much, yes.
Rotary has their conventions all over the world. They are now reaching 25,000 every year.
Wow.
This year's one in Taipei is canceled, but it looks to me like you guys could handle a Rotary International Convention in Tulsa.
we might be able to.
Are there
Absolutely, Dawn.
enough beds? Are there enough beds in the hotel community to
You
handle
know,
that?
let's get with the CVB, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and see just how many beds we have in Tulsa to handle that, because we have been known to do citywides from time to time. And I know I've only got about 2,100 beds in downtown Tulsa, but let's see what we have across Tulsa, and I can get back with you. Absolutely.
Well, it may sound like a dream, but they do it every year someplace, either Atlanta or Taipei, Honolulu next year. You never know.
We'd love to have them. Absolutely. Our doors are open for sure, Dawn. Yes, let me get you some information. Does anybody else have any questions for me? I mean, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me today. It's been so much fun to talk about my home.
I'm curious about your relationship with Cox. The name on the door is Cox Convention Center. What, do they have any involvement other than naming rights?
Actually, they are just our naming sponsor. So we have a great relationship with them. They are wonderful people, and they like to give us sponsorship money every year. So as long as they keep doing that, we will keep putting their name on the building, and that'll continue until they choose that they don't want to do that anymore. But we are excited to have them as a sponsor of the building. Yes.
Jennifer, who are your other sponsors? You have other big sponsors from Tulsa?
We do. A lot of the casinos are our sponsor. Osage Casino is one. You know, we do have a lot of the sponsorship will mostly go over to the BOK side, because there's a lot more exposure there, especially with the concerts and having that many people come through the building. But we do have some that are sponsors of ours just for the convention center, and there's probably a handful that we have. But a lot of the casinos are really big sponsors of ours.
Is that under your umbrella to secure sponsorships? I mean, I know you direct sales, but it seems like you have a pretty wide purview. So does it include that?
No, we leave the sponsorships up to our development team that is across the BOK. Evan Fowlett, who is our interim GM, our interim general manager, and he is the director of business development. He handles all the sponsorships. So when I get word of one, I get to work with them very closely to make sure that we get that taken care of. And so, but he handles all that. I handle the bookings at the convention center.
Jennifer, when you do the wine dinners,
yes,
do you have specific wineries that provide the wine, or that you kind of, advertise? Same with beer. We've got some wonderful beer here in Tulsa.
We
got that.
We do. So at this wine dinner, or we call it our dinner series. We started calling it the wine dinner, and then we expanded out and started doing beer and whiskey, and I couldn't call it wine dinner anymore, but it kind of stuck in my head. So we are partnering with 3 of our local breweries for this year, or for this month. And they are going to come in, and they're going to set up some booths, and they're going to talk about their beers, but we are going to pair them with the dinners. And that's what Chef is really good at, is he actually takes and sets the menu. It's usually a 5-course menu that we do for our dinner series. So you'll come in, we do ballet complimentary. You come into the grand hall, you have a cocktail, and they do the pairings with whatever chef is going to cook for that night. So say, for instance, we're going to do whiskey. We've done whiskey. He had a whole menu based on a whiskey dish for each course. And then we had the pairings with the whiskey. He'll do the same thing with the beer. And so that's going to be the 26th of March. So I believe there's still a few tickets available. If anybody is interested, we'd love to have you for that. It's a whole lot of fun. It takes about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, but we have music and we have the best service around. So come see us. It's a great time.
One of our people was asking, how's the parking these days?
So we have a parking garage that is connected to the convention center. It is owned by American Parking. It's usually $5 a day on non-concert days, $10 on concert days. And oh, thank you, Jesse. That was nice for putting that out there. We do not have any convention center lot parking. We've built on it. We've built all of our ballrooms and our convention center or our exhibit halls and everything on all of our parking spaces. I actually have a picture from the 50s on when there was a lot of space around there and we had a lot of parking, but we've built on it all. So now we use American Parking, which is right next door to and connected to the convention center for all of our parking. I love these questions. These are great questions. Thank you.
You might be interested in this, Jennifer. Who posted this? Don Mawson posted this. No, Tim Holder did. That Muskogee hosted the International Rotary Convention in 1922.
Oh, we have to have it back.
We have to. Yeah.
We have to. We have to have it back. I wonder if I can fit 30,000 people in my building. I'm going to try. That's fantastic.
It could be more than 30,000.
That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people.
Well, people may not be traveling as much too, so it may not be quite that many.
True.
It won't be until next year. However, I'm not sure the airport would handle it well.
Well, that's the point. They would just have to come earlier and stay longer.
Which is not a bad thing for Tulsa. I love it. Well, folks, if there's not any other questions, thank you again for having me. I mean, it's been so fun to meet all of you. You're all so nice. And I loved being here. So thank you for the invite. And I hope you come see me at the convention center soon.
Thank you. And we'll try to post, if you'll send us links occasionally, we can post them in our newsletter that the guys send out for us every week and keep us aware of what's going on. I had no idea you had the beer and wine and whiskey dinners down there. So that's good to know that. For something different to go do downtown or bring somebody from out of town if you'd like to go see more of what Tulsa has to offer. So that's
absolutely. Thank you, Barbara, so much.
Thank you, Jennifer. As a thank you for your speaking to us this morning, what we've been doing for our speakers is donating money to Rotary International to our End Polio Now campaign. So there will be a donation made in your name as a thank you for your coming up so early and presenting to us today. So thank you for your time. It's really been fun to listen to you and hear what's going on at the Cox Convention Center.
Thank
and
you.
My closing remark is from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Make a friend that doesn't look like you. It might just change the world. So with that, I will close our meeting for today.
And Jennifer, feel free to come back anytime.
Absolutely.
Oh, I appreciate that, William. Thank you so much.
And we will see you all next week. Same time, same place. Thank you.